All right, so this is the inside of the truck. I'll show you. So you got a little display when the truck turns off, and foot on the brake, and we'll turn it on. You got a little display. 100% digital. There are no analog gauges in it, sadly. Something weird to get used to. I didn't expect it when I first got the truck, but when I drove it, it got pretty normal. Your speedometer, the giant zero, changes to whatever speed you're going. See if I can get that to focus better. Yeah, I mean, just normal gauge cluster. Your 1.2 thousand RPMs. I do have the truck idle higher at rest. That way it builds up that electric charge for the hybrid faster and more efficiently, so you're not sitting there waiting for it to build up. So we'll just go through this display. So you got your RPM, your gear selector position, your outside temperature, compass, and mileage. And then I'm not wearing my seatbelt, so that little guy's on. And then ready, I don't know why they do that. The truck's ready, it just means it's good to go. Coolant, oil pressure, and then transmission temperature, and then fuel. You can adjust those, so if you go down to the settings, we'll kind of go over that. You can kind of change which ones are there. I think fuel stays there no matter what, but you can switch out the other three maybe. I don't remember. So my view, driver assistance, fuel economy, trip one, and configure my view. You can kind of change it to be whatever you want. They reset it every time I go in for service. If I go in for an oil change in 6 months or however many miles, this always gets reset back to factory, which is those few options. It's just kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I've learned to get over it. Fuel economy, so in your trip fuel section, so 19.5 miles per gallon, which is really good for a truck this size. It's just because of the hybrid. If you drive at the speed limit, posted speed limit, I know in Missouri is typically 60, 65. It can get like 23, 25 miles to the gallon. I'm not sure about Florida, but I've driven it to Austin, Texas, where it ranges between 55 miles per hour to, I think the highest I saw in Austin was 80. I was getting about 21, 22 miles per gallon, which is really good. I could go about 600 miles on one tank, so I just had to fuel up once on that. I think it's like 10 or 12 hour drive. I don't remember. Anyways, fuel economy, this trip. So this trip is just this trip, the moment that the vehicle turns off to the moment the vehicle turns on to turn off. So like your miles per gallon, your instant fuel, how long it's been on. That one on the right, I can't tell if you can read it, says electric miles, so how many miles it went in hybrid mode. Trip one, so everything like that, but for the overall trip. Then trip two, I've never reset this one. This is one from factory, so I was just kind of seeing how high it could go, but so far it looks like I've driven 7,500 miles with electric. This is, since I've gotten the vehicle, this is what this has been at. So my entire time owning this vehicle, I've gotten 19.4 miles to the gallon. Your eco behavior, I had a Focus that had this kind of thing for the manual and stuff. So your acceleration, your deceleration, your speed, that kind of keeps you in your most eco behavior to get like the highest fuel economy that you can. All 99, I've never seen it at 100. I don't know if you can actually get 100. EV coach, it doesn't show anything, but when you drive, it shows you like, okay, this is the optimal range to be slowing down, speeding up. Tells you if you're in hybrid or if you're in fully electric. Driver assistance, this is just like your front end collision, and then if you turn on your lane assist, I think it shows up there. So you got your little guides, it'll show cars on the either side of you. I'm gonna turn that off because I hate that. Go down, and that just cycles back up. So this trip, and that should just cycle back through all those menus we just saw. Truck info, so this tells you your tire pressure, so 32 psi. Might need to air up the tires, it is cold. Off-road mode, so if you take it off-road, it tells you your pitch and was it all, I don't remember, call, I don't know, it tells you where you're leaning, and then like your overall degree of your steering wheel. Really convenient if you go off-roading. I don't go off-roading. I've never used this screen. It's just kind of cool to look at. Pulls everything to the sides and then makes that your focal point. Power distribution, so like when you're driving, it tells you like where the power's at in the system. So if you have it on 4A, it will pull it to all 4, or when it needs it, most of the time it stays in 2. And then if you put it in 4H, then it'll get distributed, and then 4 low, yada yada. Engine information, so this just tells you your oil life, 85%. I got it serviced like a month ago, I think. I don't know, I haven't driven it a whole lot, but shouldn't need to be serviced for a while. Your seat belts, so each seat is equipped with a sensor to tell you who has their seatbelt on and who doesn't. So every seat has it. It'll show up with a little green check if you put it on. Yeah, so green if you have it on, and then should turn up red if you don't, and you're somebody, it senses somebody in the seat. Convenient if you have kids. Really inconvenient if it's just yourself, because the truck will complain to you like, hey, the seat isn't buckled. If you like put your bag in the passenger seat when you come in for work or something, it registers it for a little bit and then goes away. And then driver assistance, again, it's in this menu too for some reason. Towing, like I said, I've never towed anything with this vehicle, but you can check everything with it there. Navigation, Ford kind of is being weird. You have to pay for their navigation now. I don't pay for it. I think the payment's just for like active updates, because the navigation still loads. It just isn't active, if that makes sense. It used to say like GPS not found or something, I don't know. But like if I wanted to go somewhere, it'll say gas stations. I don't know if it will load anything is the problem. No, I guess. Okay, I don't know. They tried to get me to pay for it. It was like $200 a year, and I use Apple CarPlay. I don't know why I would want to pay for that. Anyways, I guess that works. So, navigation, it'll just kind of pull you to whatever quick presets you have, so your home, previous destinations, then points of interest nearby, whatever. I don't have anything saved in here, so it's not, I've never used it. Again, I just use my phone. I'm really going through a lot of settings that I've never touched before because I don't use them. Audio, I've never used the audio functions on here. I pull everything from my phone or from the main display. I don't see a reason to go through the settings there. And then the overall settings, so you can configure the gauges. You can swap the gauges, so if you press that, it just swaps those middle ones. The far left one and the far right one are permanent. You can select the gauge on the left, so you could do none if you really wanted to. I don't know why anybody in the world would do that, but you could do that. Turbo boost is kind of cool, but we'll just leave it the default oil pressure. You can change it to whatever you want, but you literally have these 4 options. And then right gauge select, same thing. Go back, and then your speed and speedo in kilometers per hour. I guess if you go to Canada and you get confused by the signage, that will just change that. It won't change anything else, it'll just change that since it's digital. Your brake coach, this is when you're in eco mode or anything, it kind of pops up with a little green icon on the speedometer and with an arrow for you to kind of stay in that box when you're accelerating and decelerating. That way you can get like the best fuel mileage. Eco coach, oh, that's what that is. Brake coach pops up like if you come to a stop, it'll say 50%, 100% brake regain from braking. So like any kind of hybrid system, visible and normal, that's that eco coach I was just describing. So there'll be an arrow when I start driving that kind of pops up on the outside of this ring here that points in, and it kind of wants you to stay in that green box for the best fuel mileage. I disable that. It comes on if you change it into eco mode, which we'll go do border crossing. I don't know what the hell that is. So like if you switch into a different border, I guess, I don't know, neutral tow, vehicle maintenance, oil life, tire pressure. You can see those in the other gauges. Other screens, neutral tow, I don't know what that does, I'm not going to touch it. And that's it. So that's that whole gauge, we'll go over the buttons. So menu, so if you're in like my view or just any screen, if you hit menu, it should pull you back to that main menu. So if I go down to trip fuel and then go to trip 1 versus going back each time to get there, I can just go back into the main screen, go menu button, and it pulls me back to that main menu. Hang up or answer the phone, typical with any kind of car built after 2008, I guess. Reverse track, forward track, again, typical, and my 2001 Jeep had that. Cruise control, so this will turn on and off. If you are going and you press it while you're driving, it automatically sets it, so you don't have to do like turn on and then set. It will automatically set it to what it's at. Then you have the adaptive cruise. You can see, I don't know if you can see it in that corner there, but if you click that, it changes your distance to the car in front of you. I always keep it at that 2, because if I go 1, I'm riding somebody's ass. If I go 3 or 4, I'm way behind. 2 is like a nice sweet spot for me. You can kind of set or accelerate, decelerate, and then if you already have it on, you can kind of reset what you want it. This turns it, cancels it and re-engages it. So if you press this, it goes away, it turns off. But if you like need to cancel or I gotta coming into a different speed zone real quick, just press the cancel button and redo it. Volume down, volume up, then voice control. Never use that button, don't see a reason for it. F-150s are weird. You don't have any stock on this side, but you have one here that does kind of everything. So it does have automatic wipers. So right now they're in the on position. If I switch it up, it will go 1 and then it will kind of rain sense, and then it has something for it all the way up. So then once you get to the first triangle, it's like the slow constant one, and then the second triangle is the all one, and then down and then up, and then you press the button for mist. And that's really it. The stock on these things are weird. I've never gotten used to it. Anyways, so you got the big display, so we'll just start up here. This button turns on your generator, so generator mode on. So that turns on the 120 plugs in the front and in the back, and then the whole 220 120 system in the trunk. I turn that off, I don't need it on. Your camera system, so it has your front camera, and then you can have different ones to select. It's got your 360 camera and then your front camera. I always keep it on the front one. You can change it to be just the front. Some kind of weird front camera, I don't know, I've never used that one. Your bed camera, so if you have anything back there, if you're like driving down the road, while you're driving, typically you can't turn on that front camera, but if you're just driving and you're like going around, okay, I got some payload in the back and I'm worried about it, I can just button, and then it will pop up to whatever camera you have set while you're driving, and that's typically my bed camera. Then your don't know what camera that's for. Camera intended for trailer only. Okay, so I don't have a trailer, so I don't need that. This is for lining up your trailer, so this drops down like right there. You can see the bumper, your ball would be there, and then you can use that to kind of line up your trailer and then your entire rear view, so that's nice full screen. This turns off the park assist so it doesn't beep at you, and then this display shows you like any immediate obstacles or where you're going to run into something. So like if you're pulling into a parking spot, there's cars to the side of you, it will kind of light up on the sides, and then on the front and on the rear if you get close to stuff like backing into a spot or whatever. I don't know. So that's the camera. It does park for you, and I've never used this feature. I've had it in multiple vehicles. I've never ever used it. You can go to, it will pull you into like a spot pulling forward, and like if you have trouble pulling it in due to the size of the vehicle, or if you need a parallel park it. I've never used it, but I know people have. Hazards, I can't remember what that one is. Traction control, and then hill assist. So like if you're going down a hill descent control ready. I've never used it. I've never had a reason to. Your Pro trailer, if you have it set up, it should come with the things. I think it should be in the manual. The manual's in the center console. But they come with little stickers you put on the trailer that the car uses the sensors and the cameras to see it, so it can kind of back up with that, so you're not trying to, oh, if I turn left I go right, if I go left I go, or whatever, trying to figure out how to back up a trailer if you just can't do it. You press the button, it turns on, whatever. I've never put up a trailer to this thing, so I don't know. Then your trailer brake, trailer is disconnected, so it's not going to do anything. Your 4 high, 4 low, 4 automatic, 2 high. To go into 4 low, you have to put it in neutral, but 4 high, 4 A, you just press the buttons and then they turn on. Then your locker, and then your drive mode select. So if you want to go into different drive modes, right now we're in normal. If I go, we'll just start with all the way to the left. We have sport mode, and as you can see, it kind of changes the display. So it was blue, now it's kind of white and red. I think this is the coolest looking one in my opinion, but it turns off. It essentially makes the car use all its power. You don't have any hybrid features going on. It's just using that hybrid motor for power at this point. It turned on 4A, so now you're essentially 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. You'd use this if you're like pulling out in traffic. I don't know when you would use it. It doesn't really change much, but it doesn't, the engine will always run. Right now it's off because I'm parked, but just like an auto stop kind of thing, it keeps the engine always running. Then you've got eco mode. This is probably the most useful one. If you're doing long trips, I'd recommend using it. It might look just like it changes it, but it actually does help. It slows down the acceleration of the vehicle, so you're less likely to use burn through fuel. And then the eco coach turns up there, so you have got a little green thing there. Displays green now. Then I got tow mode. Again, I've never used the trailer on this thing, so it just changes it kind of like a weird yellow color. It's kind of gross. Then you got normal, and then you've got your actual weather modes. So you got slippery and wet. So this is ideal for like heavy rain, if you're driving into a giant rainstorm, snowstorm, like small snow, anything that's kind of small weather, anything like that. If it's slippery, that will help. It does help quite a bit. I've used it in blizzards and stuff here in Missouri, and this mode makes this truck just go through snow like butter, so it's real helpful. Then you've got deep snow and sand. I've used this getting into our work parking lot. You can ask Nick about it. When it snows, and it snows here, that parking lot can get real bad, so this kind of just helps kind of dig through it. Then you got your mud and ruts. These are more your off-road features. I've never used them, so I don't know what they do. And then you've got your rock climb mode. I don't know who the hell needs to put their truck in a rock crawl mode, but you've got the option to. You got to put it your 4 low, 4th, though. It won't do anything really if you don't go back to normal. Okay, so that's that. Got my phone charging because it's pretty dead if you're doing these videos. So like I said, you got the Allen key goes to that radar detector. I'm gonna leave the radar detector is gonna come with me, but I'll leave the mount in there for you. I don't really care. I won't need it after it goes with the truck, so it fits only this model F150. So I don't plan on buying another this model F150. So I'm not keeping it. I don't care. Do whatever you want with it. I'll leave that in there for you. Wireless charging, so you can put your phone here. It'll charge it. Use a cord. It's not the best. NFC charging is not. It's not great. Climate control. So you got your little gauge that tells you what it's at, kind of like Corvettes did. I think they were the one. Corvette's like the first car I couldn't think of that had that. I can't really think of anything else. Your max heat, and then your rear defrost. You can change where your stuff's pointed. You got 3 gauges of auto, so you got high, medium, low. I always just leave it high. If I get cold, I put it in low. I never really leave it medium. Really, you'll never change this unless you want to. Once you kind of set the settings, though, you're never going to change them. Your circulation, your AC, max AC, heat steering wheel, everything, your fan speed. So put that back. Tune, it's not a button, but I guess it changes something. I don't know. Your audio controls, it's not really gonna let me do anything with it off. So if I just turn that all the way down, so like your tone settings and everything, balance, fade, if that's, you want to change how your stuff is. This is your source button, so it turns it from whatever you have preset. I don't pay for Sirius. And then should go to my phone. It does three settings of Sirius. So if you go to sources, it just cycles through all of that. Turns off the display, so this just puts it in like a nice standby mode, and then one more time turns it off, so the screen's just black, an off screen. So I like it driving like this at night because this is really, really bright for how big it is. It's kind of annoying, so just easier on my eyes that way. Go through the settings. So you got your audio, you can select your features, whatever. It's a typical radio. Your phone, it bases it off of whatever your phone is. So if like your favorites on there, not giving you access, you don't need that. Your navigation, let it load, so you can kind of set whatever you want. I don't know what this does. So if I wanted to set this tile, it looks like I could do that. I thought I had it set. I wanted it zone lighting. So zone lighting is, it turns on every single outside light on the vehicle. So if I press this button, it's ideal for like when you go, if you travel, if you gotta go, like say you go to somebody's house and it's pitch black and you're helping them do something, they lost their power or whatever, and you can't see anything, you would turn that on, and then you could like select the zone and it would turn on the headlights. So you turn them off, turn on all the side marker lights, or then you could just do all zones, and that turns on every light. I do this when I go to my parents' house because they live in the woods. They don't have any outside lights and I can't see a damn thing. So I do that. That's why that one's there. Apps. You can get apps for your truck. I don't know. Never done it. Settings, radio, phone list, pretty much anything you'd need to kind of go through. We'll go look at the vehicle ones. These are pretty important. So 30-minute max idle, that's just cuts off after 30 minutes. The truck will turn off, so that one's on by default. Rear occupant alert, if you have a kid in the back, it'll tell you, hey, check your kid, make sure you don't leave your kid in there. I have that off because I do not have a kid. Easy entry and exit, that moves the seat, so like the seat will move back and then move forward when I start it. Eco idle, eco idle, just engine revs at a higher RPM to recharge the battery faster. My key, onboard modem serial number, wipers. So you can turn off that power tailgate to be manual or power. Leave it on power. You paid for it. It comes with it. You might as well use it. Ambient lighting. I've never adjusted this. Locks. So I think I have it set to auto unlock when I get close to it, and then the remote unlocks all the doors. I hate it when it just unlocks the driver door and you gotta click it again for the passenger door. That's annoying. Door keypad code, I don't know what the hell this is. I think it's in the manual. I've never set it. I have the key on me all times, and then you can use your phone app as well to unlock the truck, so I've never really used it. The master code should be in the manual to reset it, or if you go to Ford, they'll reset it for you. Features, well, no, there are any more settings to kind of go through. Personal profiles. Seats. Okay, so seats is the important one. So yeah, you can adjust the lumbar digitally, or you can use the buttons on the side. So if I use the buttons on the side, it will pop up this menu, and then it'll kind of show you if you do up and down. You can kind of adjust it that way, or you can just use the menu. Then you can turn on the massage feature, and then you have multiple to choose from with different intensities. So you have a max, medium, and low. Great for long drives. I use them all the time when I drive to Austin with this thing, so that's really it. And then the passenger side you can mess with too. All right, features, driver assistance. So auto hold will actually hold the truck. I know a lot of cars have like buttons for it. It just holds it, so when you put the brake on, and then it just holds it there, and then you use the accelerator to kind of move it. I don't know when you would want to use that. If you're like in traffic, the hybrid will fight you with the brake a little bit, and just the high torque on it will kind of pull you. If you just don't want to hold your foot on the brake for so long, turn that on and just sit there. or put it in park. I don't know. Cruise control is adaptive. Not changing that. I wouldn't. You could probably turn it off. Yeah, I could turn it off. All these features. Do not turn that one on because it should slow you down to, yeah, so it's gonna adjust your speed to the set speed. I like to speed. Everybody in my family likes to speed. I'm not turning that back on. Had it on one of my old cars. It is annoying. I'm glad it's not on. Pre-collision alert, don't change that. Rear view camera delay, don't know why you'd want that. Park aid sensors, you can change, that's dumb. I don't know why you'd want that. Cross traffic alert. It's weird that you'd want to turn all this stuff off. That you are inactive. Inattentive. Yeah, no, that's dumb. Anyways, running boards. So if you're cleaning the vehicle, you can change it to be the running board modes to be out. If you're cleaning it, do that. You'll keep the running boards down because once you close the door, the running boards come up, and then you could turn them off. I guess I don't know why you'd want that. Kick switch. The hell's a kick switch? I don't know what the hell a kick switch is, so I don't know what that does. Approach detection, that's that. If you get close to the vehicle, the running boards come out. Keep that on or turn it off. It's up to you. Pro power onboard. So this is that generator I was talking about. So you can turn on your generator. You can turn on generator mode. So engine will continue to run supply power to the outlets. Only use vehicle outside. So don't turn it on if you're inside a building. So you got two generators, both at 3600 watts. So great for using it as a work truck. I intended to do mobile detailing with this just because it has that built-in generator. I've used it to power equipment at my office. I've used it to power equipment at my parents' house. I've used it to power stuff at my house. I mean, it's really nice having it built in the truck. That being said, I'd rather run an extension cord from my house to something out here versus before I plug something into my truck. But like, I had a tree fall down in my yard over there, and it was all the way at the corner of my yard, and I don't have an extension cord that long. So, and I didn't have a chainsaw, but I had a reciprocating saw with a big wooden blade, and I just plugged it into the back with the extension cord and went over it, chopped it up, threw it in the back of the truck, and got it out of there. So yeah, that's that. Zone lighting, towing, power flow. So that shows you like where your battery pack is, and then like where the battery power is going. So like if you're driving, it'll show you to the wheels or to like the power supply or whatever, I don't know. Owner's manual, and you can record your feedback. This is like a little display on the side that can show you different menus. So like you can set it to whatever you want. You click the button. So you got audio, bed camera. Yeah, so bed camera. So if you're driving down the road, you can have your navigation open, your bed camera on. That way you can have it off to the side with whatever's going on. So like if you want to listen to the audio, but you need to keep an eye on what's going on there, you can have that going. It's really, it's an overlooked feature, but I've used it a million times. And then you're off-road, and I think that cycled back through your eco behavior or whatever. That's really it for the inside of the truck. Everything else is kind of standard. You got your gear selector, so we'll go up and down. Your manual mode, so you got little buttons here you can kind of select. I can show you this. So I put it in drive. It is a 10-speed, but as you can see, the numbers are white. If I press the down button on the gear selector, the numbers go gray. Now the truck will not go past that gear, so it's ideal for like towing. If you don't want to use that tow haul, if you know that you want to act like one of those people that knows the truck or whatever, if you know what's best for it, sure. I don't know any other reason why you'd want to do this, but it won't go past 6th gear now. So if you're driving down the highway at 80 miles per hour and you're in 6th gear, you're gonna burn through fuel. So I just up button all the way to 10, and then if you press the manual button M1, and then you can kind of cycle through, and that is like your sporty kind of thing where you can control the gears, but just leave it in drive. It's better for it. So if I go in reverse, you can kind of see it does that, and then I can change the camera to be, okay, I want all that, or I can want my 360 camera. I like the 360 camera. You can press this plus and you can kind of click where you want to see it, kind of go. So I want to see that corner, or I want to see this front corner, or whatever. Yeah, I've never really done that, but that's all that is. It does beep when it's in reverse because it is a hybrid. It legally has to, ever since somebody got ran over by a Prius all those years ago, so it does beep. Can't really hear it all that much inside the truck, but if you're outside of it, it's annoying. So just something, you can't turn it off, so don't even try it, you'll get in trouble. Yeah, so that's really it. It does have this weird button down here, but that has to do with the remote features. Everything I read said that has to do with remote features from the dealership when they had it at their lot and then made it accessible for like the phone app. It does have Blue Cruise, so if you put cruise control on and then have your lane assist, Blue Cruise will come up, but again, it's subscription based. I don't pay for it because they don't offer it in Warsaw. Probably where you're at in Florida, I guarantee they have it there. They have to like map out the roads. I get it if I go to Springfield or Kansas City or St. Louis, whatever, but at that point I'm driving in traffic. I shouldn't be using my cruise control anyways. So yeah, that's really it. Like I said, I'll try to get it cleaned up more around December and then try to get you more photos of it actually clean. The white looks really good once it's clean. It's just a really nice looking truck. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, just let me know.